I've got the bonjour down pat, but that's about it.
It's a bit of everything. Big mix down here.
Well, I think we're officially going. So guys, welcome back to the Brink. Today, this is a first for us.
It is.
We've brought a friend and we think you're going to enjoy this. The last couple of episodes, if you've been kind enough to follow along, have been, pretty serious stuff, right?
Intense.
Yeah. We've appreciated the feedback, but we're a bit knackered from it. I think we've shared a lot.
We have.
So it's time to bring in somebody else and...
It's my turn to overshare.
Yeah, drag them over the coals. And this is somebody who I've wanted just socially to introduce to Matthew for ages. This is one of my greatest friends here in the south of France, TJ.
Terence James.
Terence James, yeah.
Terence James.
Abbreviated to TJ. It became TJ because my dad was Terence as well.
But your second name is James. That's your middle name or your last name?
Yeah, middle name. So Terence James and then Billum is my...
Terence James Billum.
Yeah.
So the reason we've brought TJ on, apart from the fact that he's like dashingly good looking and...
God, not right now, I'm not.
Very,
Like you can't tell, but it's super tall.
very tall.
Like what are you, 6'4"?
6'4", yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm tall.
Like, you're a dwarf. At least you're not a poison dwarf, though.
But yeah, there are moments, Matty.
Yeah.
But we love your feedback, and a lot of people are asking, what's it like living in that part of the world that you do, which is south of France, Monaco, Côte d'Azur, and we thought rather than explain it from our perspective, which is probably a little less exciting than most people would hope to hear about, we thought we'd bring in someone who's a bit of a local fixture, who's lived here. You grew up here, didn't you, TJ?
I think it's almost 30 years I've lived here now. I'm 32, so my parents moved here when I was very young.
So being English, or do you identify as Scottish?
I identify as a penguin, a two-spirit penguin.
Should I get you a tray of kitty litter?
Yeah, British, I guess. Yeah.
So somebody who's grown up here, TJ knows everybody because TJ is, let me list it, a singer, a songwriter, a DJ, TV presenter, owner of a production and entertainment company.
I guess, yeah.
Called Nightlife Music.
Yeah.
With a friend and colleague
Check
of
it
his.
out.
Yeah, check it out. And has had this illustrious career, which is just fascinating in itself. And has many a yarn to tell.
I think it's interesting to hear it put that way, because for me, living it, you're never as successful as you want to be, or as you feel like you could have been or should be. So it's nice to hear illustrious career.
Well, it is.
Because I'd like it to be a lot bigger than it is.
But you run all the gigs for pretty much all the main pubs or clubs around here, right?
We do a lot. We do a lot of them. We do a few of the cool places down in Monaco. We do the DJs and the djembes and all that sort of stuff. And kind of the live aspect. And we do a lot of private events as well. Our goal is to kind of be the go-to in the south of France.
Yeah.
Is this a weird way to hold the microphone?
No.
I feel like it might be.
Your little hat's a bit crooked, but
sorry, mate.
But for people who don't know, like entertainment down here is a huge part of, I guess, the culture. Correct?
Yeah.
Whether it be going, there are concerts, there are performances, but also even in a lot of the restaurants along the coast, there's always a performer.
There's usually
people at restaurants, they'll get up and dance. Even at lunch, like it's a very engaging.
It's a very south of France thing that
it is.
Yeah.
Which coming from New Zealand, and a lot of our listeners are from New Zealand and Australia, would be an unusual experience. It certainly was for me. I don't know about you, Matthew. First time you started coming around here, it's like, what is going on?
It's pretty full on, eh? It's pretty full on.
It's a lot of fun, and it's all the generations get into it. I love you see the grandparents, the parents, the little kids, and
that's one of my favourite things down here. You could be partying next to an 18-year-old or a 60-year-old, and you're all in the same club doing the same thing, and it's really. It's a good mix of everything.
Yeah. The other nice thing about the French is they include the children, young children.
Absolutely.
It's not weird to see young kids out at 11, 12 o'clock at night,
Not
right?
at all,
Whereas in New Zealand, you just never see that, right?
no.
I've got great memories like exactly that, going out with my parents when they're out for dinner with their friends, a boozy dinner or whatever. Yeah. And I've just got a couple of mates and a football or a bike, and we're just riding around till God knows what time, till midnight, 1 a.m.
And everybody looks after everybody kind of thing, right? Like it's not... And it's not frowned upon, whereas I can remember taking children or taking your kids to dinner in New Zealand. If you take them, everybody sort of looks at you like you're not a very good parent,
right?
Because it's just not the done thing. Not that it's not okay, but it's just not what we do down there, I guess.
Not socially accepted.
Yeah, well, not as much.
And the environment's different. Like you'll be at a restaurant which at 11 o'clock turns into a nightclub.
Yeah.
And there'll be the grandparents, as I said before, that the parents middle aged, and the little kids like 5, 6. They'll be up waving sparklers on the banquettes.
Oh yeah.
The live acts come on. It's a very, very weird and different experience, but
I like it though. I think it's very open and very inclusive.
It's awesome.
Everyone you learn social skills that way, I guess.
Absolutely,
From a young age.
So aside from the local scene, which you've kind of I guess you'd say you're dominating. Like you're humble. Like that's how I'd describe you.
Thank you.
You are, because you're enormously talented.
We're doing our best. I'm doing my best.
But you've in France itself, you've built a huge profile. Being on a TV show that everyone would obviously know all over the world, which is called The Voice.
Yeah.
So
Were you on The Voice?
Yeah, but, so my wife signed me up for The Voice. So that came about in a weird way because I never wanted to do it because there's kind of a stigma attached to being like the product of a TV show. So I always wanted to avoid that and do the real artist thing and write the songs and get it, pitch it and get it on the radio that way. And then I signed to a record label who I won't mention, but it didn't go very well. And I got screwed over a bit.
Is that the norm?
It happens quite a lot, yeah. I learned the hard way, unfortunately, to just go. Everyone was, promising you everything. You're like, oh, sweet, I've made it. This is it. This time next year,
Yeah.
And it didn't go to plan. Got screwed over and thought, I don't want to do music anymore. I'm just gonna try and find what else I want to do. And then it was at that exact moment that Sophie. Well, actually, I got a call on my phone from a number that I didn't recognize. And I was like, I never answer calls that I don't recognize. And Sophie was like, no, answer. So I answered, and it was The Voice saying, listen, we've received your video. We'd like you to come and do the audition in Paris, tomorrow.
And you didn't know about the video?
No, I did. No, Sophie had filmed me, through a corner while I was just sitting playing. Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, it's
a cliche story.
It's so cliche, but it is true. There's literally a video of her through a curtain, and I'm just sat there singing. And I was like, what audition? What was this? And they said, yeah, we want to see you tomorrow. Come down. And I got to the semi-final the first time. Which was great. And then the second time they called me back for the all-star version, which was like the championship, the losers championship, I guess you could call it. It was the people that had most left a mark on the show but didn't win. Yeah. So the best losers.
But kind of good that you didn't win. The people that win, do they go on and kick it?
I think you win a contract as part of the winning prize, I guess. But it's a really tough contract to get out of, and you're kind of locked in for ages. So I'm really happy the second time I got to the final, met Ed Sheeran, which was amazing. Lovely guy.
Oh, we'll have to put a little clip in of you singing with Ed Sheeran.
Did you sing with him?
Yeah, it was the best moment of my life. He was my guest star in the final.
Wow.
Which was just insane. Yeah.
You are his equal in terms of talent. It's just,
thank you.
It's incredible.
I saw one thing on Twitter, which I never retweeted because obviously Ed Sheeran is the GOAT. He's like the guy. But it was a little tweet of someone saying, who's the ginger guy singing with Terence? I thought that was the funniest thing. Someone sent it to me and I was like, that's brilliant. I can obviously never, he's the GOAT. He's the guy. But it was just a funny little tweet that I'll always remember.
So when did you start your music career? How old were you when you started playing instruments, I guess?
So my dad, my mum and dad were huge fans. My dad used to be in a rock band ages ago, years and years ago in the army. So he taught me to play guitar when I was really young. Yeah. So I can always remember playing guitar. I used to play it a lot better than I do now because I don't really have the time to play guitar anymore. And then it started from there. When I was 9, I wrote my first song. Wow. It was shit, but yeah.
And so what are the instruments? Guitar, is that your strongest?
Yeah, I do guitar, piano, and drums, I guess. I could do djembe and that sort of stuff. Yeah. Anything you can kind of do in a live event now. I kind of try and do it all. I DJ a bit as well.
Okay, so well, that's amazing. But so when you first started, did you always know you wanted to be a musician, from a young age, or did you think you had a career in it, or?
Well, my parents did. My parents always not pushed me, but let me explore the
That's interesting. Because your dad had a background in finance.
Exactly, in finance. My dad's dream was always to be a musician, and then that never worked out for him. So my dad was in finance, and my mum worked with my dad. I always wanted to be a musician, but I also wanted to be a Formula One driver. I'm
you were way too tall.
Exactly, way too tall. And,
that's the only reason.
And way too poor as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we were talking about the other day.
You need a lot of money to become a Formula One driver. 100%. And I was very lucky growing up. My parents were very generous to me, and I can't complain at all, but not quite Formula One level wealth.
Yeah. which must be and there's so many things I want to ask you about growing up here, I guess, because that would be interesting in itself, because there is a lot of wealth here. Yeah. And going to school, you must have gone to school with kids with eye-watering social, financial security.
Yeah, you see a lot of them around here. I mean, in Monaco, the level is very high. The bar is very high. I grew up very lucky. My parents had, I can't complain about my childhood, but I learned the hard way. When I was like 21, my parents lost everything, which is tough growing up as one of the like kind of wealthier kids. You could go out and spend whatever in a club, be an idiot, as not really know the value of money.
Yeah,
and then learn the hard way, being like, oh, I can't even afford a coffee anymore.
Really, that much?
Yeah.
So?
Oh, yeah. But I remember one of my best friends, Nicolo, classic example. We used to go out all the time together, whatever. And then this happened, and he was like, "Oh, let's go out." And I was like, "I can't go out." And we were meant to go to Venice, and he was like, "Don't worry, I've got you." And he like paid for my whole trip. I couldn't even get coffee.
Wow.
And now things are going well. So
so you were like so up to 21, you were living off your parents.
Pretty much. Even after that, up to like 24 maybe. Yeah. So I was kind of forced to become a man and actually learn the value of money. I went to Glasgow. I remember I fell into a friendship group there, and initially they were all like, who's this idiot?
Yeah.
And then I realized I am actually a complete idiot. Like I really should stop being
an idiot.
Stop being a complete idiot. Yeah. And now I like to think I make all my own money now, and I value money.
So you turned it around like in 8 years, pretty much. So from 20, you're 32 now. So in 8 years now, you're rocking and rolling.
Yeah, but I'm happy I had that experience because I've seen the luxury side of things, and I want that.
Yeah.
Under your own steam.
And now I'm doing it myself, and I'm really happy
Do you
with
think?
that.
Interesting question. Do you think the TJ that I know and have met would be very different from the TJ who would be now if that had never happened to him?
I think so, yeah.
In what way? Because that always fascinates me.
I think I was extremely vain, being honest about things. Like I think there's always this stigma attached to people who grow up that and just inherit everything and don't. I think it is a lot of the time quite true. Like I remember just a really stupid thing. I've never told this story actually. Never even thought about this. This is a great way of exploring things that I've never thought of. I remember when I was in Glasgow, I needed a car to get around, and my dad was like, just get like a Ford Focus or something. And I was like, I'd never be seen dead in a Ford Focus. I remember having a fight with him. My dad was like, stop being a twat. And I was like, I was being a complete idiot.
Yeah.
And ended up getting a nicer car. But I really wish he'd have forced me to get that Ford Focus because I might have learned the lesson earlier.
Yeah.
Of not being a complete twat and just getting on with life.
So image was really important.
I think
but it is when you're
I think
young,
it still
right?
is now.
Yeah.
Even for me now, I really worry about what people think when I shouldn't. And I always say I don't care what people think. But I think there's a little part of me that still goes, I do. I still do. Yeah. I wish I didn't. I wish I did less.
Yeah, I think we all battle with that, though.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Some less than others.
Some less than others, yeah. But
I'm closer to zero.
You are closer to zero. I thought I was closer to zero, but apparently not.
But I love that about you. I think that's amazing about you.
Well, it's taken a bit of work.
Yeah.
And adversity. That's why I always find like the people I gravitate towards in life are people who have endured, everyone endures hardship, but some sort of turning point in their lives where it's forced them to kind of like under pressure to forge this stronger character than they would have otherwise. And it gives you, we always talk about, empathy for others and that sort of stuff. Like, how do you really understand that unless you've eaten a bit of shit?
Yeah,
totally.
In life, right?
Totally.
Tough times.
It must be hard to come from like being at that level, then going down to that level, not only for you, but for your parents.
Yeah. Well, my parents had a tough time. Even my mum just seeing me not be able to go out with my friends anymore, and lose a load of people who weren't really friends, I guess.
So when the money goes, everybody disappears.
Is that what you found?
Oh, 100%. I've got, from people I speak to back then, I've got like 3, and they're my 3 best friends.
Yeah.
2 of my best friends are my 2 business partners now.
Yeah.
Who are both very successful people, and they never let me go, and now we're,
Did they come from wealth as well, or?
One of them did. One of them semi. Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. But both very hard workers.
Yeah.
Both work. Yeah. One of them inherited a company, but now runs it himself. And
you work your
does an
ass
amazing
off,
job. I never stop.
This man works.
I don't stop.
His ass off.
Yeah.
I think I got that from my dad, though, because my dad, whether he worked in the right direction or the wrong direction, he was always the hardest working person I've ever seen. He's, even up to the day he died at 86, he was working every single day.
But it's probably a rare thing to be a creative like you are. In order to pursue a career like you have, there's some drive that must be pretty strong in you to want to do that because it's high risk.
Yeah.
There's so much riding on possibilities and chance. But also once you get to a position when you are making money like you are,
Yeah.
to then have the other side of the brain knowing how to prudently proceed
Exactly.
Yeah.
without blowing it
I
and
had to
being
learn it.
stupid, you know?
Yeah.
I think there's two sides of it. The reason I could pursue the artistic side of it was because I had the cushion and knowing I didn't have to go and get a random job in a coffee or delivering pizza or whatever it is.
So you could focus on it.
So I could just be a bit of an idiot, and I got lost a little bit, but I could do that side of things and just focus on the writing, focus on all that because I had the cushion. Now I'd lost it, so I had to make the kind of cushion myself.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, so now I'm okay.
Yeah.
Maybe try and do the songwriting thing again. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the money is, eh? It's in the songwriting, right?
At the end of the day, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You write for other people. That's how Ed Sheeran makes most of his money, is writing for other people, the Biebers, the Taylor Swifts,
So he writes for them.
Oh yeah, he writes for everyone. The songs he wrote, like "Shape of You," was meant to be for Rihanna,
Okay.
and he didn't like it for himself. And then the record label were like, maybe you should write this.
Wow.
You should sing this. And my mama don't like you, she likes everyone. He wrote that for Justin Bieber.
How good's the voice?
Initially.
Unbelievable. It
Oh,
is
God,
the
not
voice.
right now.
The voice. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
early. Don't judge me today. Yeah, that was for Justin Bieber initially.
Wow.
And he sent it to the label.
So does he write for himself, Justin Bieber?
I don't think he writes a lot for himself.
Okay.
I think he probably has input on the songs.
Okay.
Have you got a dream artist that you'd like to hear singing your songs, or have you ticked that box yet?
Singing one of my songs,
Yeah.
I'd love to write a song for Ed Sheeran or with Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
And when I met him, I sent him a couple of songs, and he was like, "Oh, great, yeah." Had an email back and forth. And then there was one particular song that I wrote because my wife lost her mum.
Yeah.
And I didn't. She had a really, really tough time with it. They were best friends, and I really wanted to put it in words how she felt about it. So I wrote a song called Roses, which is, I think, the most beautiful song I've ever written.
I can attest to that. We'll have to play that for you.
Yeah, we'll
Even
play
a
it.
clip on it.
Yeah.
On this,
Yeah,
it's
nice.
beautiful.
I've got just a recording that I made myself, sort of thing, and it's a lovely song.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going. I've lost the train of thought, but
You don't have to. You don't have to have follow each other.
oh, Ed Sheeran, and I sent it back and forth to him, and he kind of suggested, change the chorus a bit. I think it's 2 songs, so maybe split it, and that's what I did. And
Yeah.
so I could almost say I wrote a song with Ed Sheeran, but I'd love to actually sit down in a room with him and.
So he
write a
sounds
song.
like he's a really down-to-earth fella.
He's the most lovely guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was absolutely bricking it when I knew I was. So when I got into the final of the All Stars, I was like, I'm not going to win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on a massive bender. So I was in Paris with one of my best friends. I was like, let's just go. Let's go out. Like, I'm not going to win anyway, so I might as well enjoy it while we're here. And then in the taxi on the way to the club, I got a call from the production team saying, hi, congratulations. Do you want to know who your guest star is? And obviously we're on The Voice France. So I was assuming it was going to be a French artist. I don't really listen to French music, so it wouldn't be that intimidating, I guess.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's Ed Sheeran, you're going to sing Bad Habits. And I was like, yeah. Good one.
Good one.
Anyway, who is it? And they were like, no, it's Ed Sheeran, Bad Habits. I didn't believe them for the first 5 times. And they were like, no, listen, it's Ed Sheeran, Bad Habits. And I was like,
Wow.
turn the taxi around. I'm not going out.
Yeah.
I'm not going out. I had to rest the voice.
Yeah.
And it was
But I'm kind of
crazy
glad
moment.
we circled back to The Voice, because I think, like, for people listening, like, I mean, and France is a huge country, right? And that show is massive here.
Yeah.
So for somebody like you, I was going to ask you, when you sing, like TJ, obviously growing up here is fluent in French, but when you sing, do you sing with a bit of an English accent?
When I sing in French, I don't have an English. Well, I don't know. Not really. No. I sound
when
French.
you speak in French, you sound French.
I sound French. The only thing I do is I like say in French there's male and female for everything. Like there's la table or le siège or something, and I'll get those mixed up a lot. I'll get the feminine and masculine mixed up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just 'cause
I often wonder how that works in this day and age of like pronouns.
Yeah.
So when you're-
I
How
saw
does that work in French? Like I speak okay French, but like
You speak really good French, mate.
you speak great French.
No.
Come on, mate.
No, you do,
Yeah,
though.
but like he's lived here. You didn't live here. You came to France when you were 18 for a little bit, right?
Yeah, for a little
You
study.
speak really good French.
But I'm not interesting. Let's talk about him.
Yes, you are. I actually saw a video of there's like a prominent feminist in France who's always on TikTok, and she was doing exactly that. She was swapping everything, just changing everything to la. And,
would be-
and everyone was like, "But that's wrong." And she was like, "Why is it wrong?"
So
It
would
was-
you
it
then-
was really because when you hear it, there's no rule to it. It's just that's what it is.
No, like
That's what it
table
is.
is feminine, la table.
And that's what it is.
So-
There's no reason for it. It's not because
Yeah.
of the spelling or anything. It's just you should know.
Yeah.
So she was changing everything, and it sounded weird.
So So everything was going to female, or
Yeah.
was table going to
So
masculine?
I don't know.
Was she switching it up?
Yeah, I don't.
you guys
it was
lost?
just. Yeah, sorry, guys.
Because I'm lost.
Sorry. It was an odd video. We'll play a clip of it if we can. I don't know. Or cut that, whatever.
No,
But it must be cool, so cool to live in France, and you obviously sound like your mother tongue's English,
Yeah.
and it probably is your mother tongue.
and it's a lovely
Yeah.
accent you have.
I've got a generic British weird accent. I don't know. It changes sometimes. When I'm in Scotland, it becomes more. All right, mate.
Yeah.
Should go out.
But then to be able to just to switch to speak fluent French would just be amazing, right? Because that's the hardest thing here is like not being able to speak the language, although most people
People's English here, yeah.
speak English, but it must be like it's a wonderful thing to be able to just jump from one language to the other, I reckon.
Well,
It's such a beautiful language.
I think you miss out on a ton of the experience if
Totally.
you don't.
Yeah.
Like people will be polite and help you with your broken French.
Yeah.
They'll speak to you in English, but if you can engage,
But they just jump straight into English pretty much as soon as they realise you don't speak,
yeah. Like I work with Italians and they don't speak any English, so our common language is my version of French, and their broken Italian version of French. And if I didn't have that, I couldn't do what I'm doing.
Exactly.
And also, it's the friendships and connections I've made as a result of that. It comes down to connection.
But I guess in Monaco, everybody speaks English, right?
Yeah, it's mainly English or Italian, I guess, the main languages.
Italian's huge here.
Italian's big.
Is it?
Huge, yeah.
There's not a lot of French people that actually live in Monaco
No.
because of the tax, I guess, is
Yeah.
the main reason. Because French people still pay tax in France.
Yeah.
And they pay big tax.
The same as they pay French tax.
Yeah.
So they're just paying more for a.
It was under de Gaulle, right?
Exactly.
I think that was
yeah.
changed, yeah.
Yeah.
And the old French who were here, they were called letterbox French, I think. They could just have a post PO box.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
are you famous? You walk down the street here, do people recognise you?
So, fresh out of the TV show, yes.
Yeah. How long ago was the TV show?
2022?
Okay, yeah.
21, maybe?
Yeah, so you
a couple
get
of years ago.
recognised a lot.
Yeah, it happened a lot. And then Sophie and I, my wife, we did one video where I was taking the piss out of her.
Which you do a lot.
This is so good.
Yeah,
Which you do a lot.
Yeah,
It's
which
so
I do.
good.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
So good.
Thank you.
In real life,
She plays it up real good, eh?
Yeah, no, she's good.
Like, thinking like she's real angry. She
great.
probably is.
Yeah, no, she is.
She's French.
Yeah, it's not her fault though.
Yeah, exactly.
But we did it one time, and it got over 1 million views. The first video we posted, and I had no TikTok followers, maybe 20,000 or something. And we were like, "This is crazy." And
Yeah.
TikTok sent me an email saying, "Listen, we owe you money. Can you put your banking details in?"
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And I was like, "That's crazy." And it was €50, and I was like, "That's so good. That's so worth doing a video. That'll get a couple of drinks, and we'll have a good time." And then we made another video, and it was €300-400, and I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool."
Yeah.
And then at the end of the month, it was $5-6 grand.
Wow.
And we were like, "We should probably keep doing this."
So it wasn't a plan. You just
Not at all. We just did it one. It worked. We did another one. We were like, oh, the first one was a fluke.
Yeah.
And it worked again. It worked again. And then the biggest video I think we got was 40 something million views.
It's insane.
Which was crazy. And since that, we get recognized more.
Yeah.
More than the TV show.
Yeah.
I guess because a lot of younger people are on TikTok. I guess the average viewing age for The Voice is probably a bit older.
Yes.
Rather than TikTok is a lot younger. So.
And Sophie's on Monaco TV here.
Yeah, we were both presenters on the TV thing. She was doing the fashion thing. She did a TV show which was perfect for Sophie. It's called The Queen of Shopping.
Yeah. She's particularly beautiful.
yes.
A better person even.
She's all right.
But very humble too, and she thinks she's average at it, and she is a natural.
No, she's good. She's very good.
So good.
I tell her all the time. She's like, "Oh, I don't think that was good." I was like, "That was perfect. Stop worrying about it. It's so good." She's so much better at it than me.
We should actually have had Sophie here.
Sophie's great. She's really, really good at it.
You just wouldn't mess with her.
Yeah, not on the show.
Not at all by the look of it.
Yeah.
But in terms of career progression, right? It's interesting, I think, because you start out wanting to do one thing, going back to choosing to be an artist. There's that element of risk, which way it's going to go. Do you have a plan B? You ventured out into
I didn't have a plan B
Yeah.
initially, but there's so many different ways of doing it now that you get lost. My initial thing was like I said, it was write songs, earn it, do it the old school way of pitching to labels, and then they go, "Oh, that's a good song, let's promote that." That didn't work, so we ended up doing The Voice, which got me so far. We had a really big song in France that I didn't particularly like, but it was a big song, and then kind of gone down the private route of just let's just focus on building something where I can kind of get the pressure off, where I can,
Yeah.
my rent's covered, I can live comfortably, and then we can focus on other stuff, which is what we've done with nightlife. We're trying to be the kind of the go-to. If you're doing an event in the south of France, you want the best quality music, you call us, and we can do the DJs, the lighting, the sound, the saxophone players, the singers, the dancers, everything to do with the music.
And that's
what we
growing
do.
fast, right, that business?
Yeah, it went kind of. It's going well. It's going really well. Yeah, we're kind of overwhelmed by it, so now we've had to set up the company in Monaco and everything. It's cool. Can't complain. Very, very happy.
So
Everyone
do you
wants
do a
more,
lot
but-
of work on boats?
Yeah, there's a lot of yacht parties and stuff. A lot of yacht parties and a lot of like stuff in Saint-Tropez and in venues here. In a few of the hotels, they have all the function rooms. Yeah, it's really cool. I love it. Working for yourself, as both of you will know, I guess, is so much more fulfilling than working with someone else.
Absolutely.
I started the private thing working for a big company, and you just think, you guys are making so much money. And
Yeah.
I worked for one of the biggest ones. They're making like 100 grand on a night, and we're getting paid 500-600 euros. And you're just like,
That's crazy.
I mean, it's your company. You've done the work. Sure,
Of
do it.
course.
But I was like, why don't I do that?
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build up to the big
Nice.
stuff. We're not there yet, but we're getting there.
It's interesting that like we've done an episode which we haven't put out yet about having always felt like outsiders, which is something that we always relate to, and a lot of people I think do feel like that, and they feel bad about it. Whereas I've learnt to turn that into a positive. Like makes life a lot more enriching.
Right.
Interesting.
But with you, like, do you feel you're at a lot of these events? Are you there's a lot of people with huge amounts of wealth there. You must be there and experience a little bit as an outsider looking in. I know a lot of people include you as well. But do you ever feel like that? Do you feel?
I don't know. Growing up here, I think my parents really instilled really good values in me. Is that the right word? Instilled?
Yes.
Is that the right word?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep,
Dyslexic.
spot on.
I'm dyslexic as fuck, so I use the wrong word sometimes.
No, spot on.
I don't see the money side of people, because I think everyone does have a lot of money here. So if you focus on that, then you'll really be, you're never going to win that game down here.
Not
There's
here.
always going to be someone.
It's almost
you can't have an
liberating,
ego
right?
here. There's no point.
Exactly.
In
So I don't even
Yeah.
think about that. So I kind of, try not to think about it. And if I'm there for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
Either financial reason, or I deserve to be there because of, whatever else I'm doing. So I try not to think about it.
Because it always fascinates me. I wonder, like, do you, in those environments, are people receptive and warm and friendly? Because I think a lot of people think about, those sorts of people who have super yachts, or
A lot of the time.
that
you're
they
just
might
the
be
help.
nasty
It can be.
people.
Yeah.
It can be. I've had it a few times where you're just the help.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we kind of are. I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah, I get
we
you.
are there just to entertain the people who are paying the bill. I guess. As long as our clients are happy.
Yeah.
That's all that really matters to us. So whether they treat us as the help or not, doesn't really change our work. We're still going to do the best possible event, because who knows who's at that event? Are we going to get bookings from anyone in the event? So whether we get treated well or not, which 99% of the time we do, but it has definitely happened where we try and deliver the best show every time.
Yeah, it's
You have to in Monaco. You can ruin a reputation
Like that.
within one show. You can. That's
Really?
it. Oh yeah.
and people aren't afraid to go up to the event organizer or the maitre d' at the end of the day and go, that performer was shit.
Yeah.
Often it's like, where's TJ?
Yeah.
Bring back seriously. it is.
Yeah.
Like,
100%. Yeah.
we were at a restaurant the other day. I won't mention the name. I said to you, I was like, they've got a new performer there.
Yeah.
She's no good.
Yeah. Well, the amount of times it has happened, it's not usually the direct client. It's usually the friends of the client.
Yeah.
That are tough to get along with. Like we
Yeah.
did one wedding where it was going very well, and then one of the best friends, or the bridesmaids, came up and they were like, "Oh, can you play older music?" and blah blah. And we were like, "But the dance floor's full. Like,
It's going well."
We're doing a good job." And they were like, "No." And she was really moaning. So we cleared the dance floor.
Yeah.
And then the bride came up and she was like,
What the fuck are you doing?
I was like, well, it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, do you know what? Yeah, you're right. And then I told Ollie, I was like, just get on with it. Just do your thing. Get the dance floor back.
Yeah.
And then the woman still came up and moaned afterwards. I was like, look, we
Yeah.
played 3 of your songs, emptied the dance floor.
So are you singing? Are you live singing?
It depends on the event.
Okay.
Either sometimes we get other singers, sometimes I do it. Usually I'm there as like the director, I guess you can say. Just making sure everything's going well between the catering at the right time and the the music is at the right timing and all that sort of stuff. Like we don't want to be singing while the waiters are going around.
Yeah, gotcha.
We'll time it so that when the food's on the table, do a performance.
Gotcha.
Let them clear up and everything. But now we've got a third business partner, so that's now his job. Okay. So now I can focus on more of the artistic side of things, which is what I'm good at. Yeah. I'm not good at the other stuff.
Stick to your knitting.
Yeah, I've had to be the secretary, the accountant, the everything. Yeah. So that's what I do at the moment, but I'm not good at any of that. I've had to become good at it, but it's not what I enjoy doing.
And it's kind of like, as a creative person, it'd probably be everything you want to fight against, like the structure and
like my brain when I go to sleep.
Boredom of that.
Even like when I go to sleep now, I'm thinking about all the emails that I haven't answered or that I have to answer in a different way or follow up with this person, blah blah. And I can't deal with that anymore.
Yeah, so that would stuff with the creative side as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got the stress and the worry.
Yeah.
So you're actually running a reasonably big business, right?
It's well, I guess it is. If you asked me 2 years ago, where do you want to get to? I'd say here.
Yeah.
But now that I'm here, I guess you always look up. Which
is great, right?
We're nowhere near as big as we want to be.
Yeah.
But for us, as long as we can deliver the quality, that's what.
Yeah. And do you see yourself as in the future as less of a performer, or do you always want to maintain that? I mean, I
guess
you could songwrite for other people, but
I think it depends. If working for myself, I really enjoy performing. Yeah. When I work for other people, I enjoy it less. So as long as it's my company doing the performing, I think I'd love to keep performing as long as I'm good at it and I don't become that old guy that they're like, oh God, they have to wheel Terence out every. I don't want to be that guy. No. I want to quit while I'm ahead, and then just be the director.
And in this day and age too, you're talking about The Voice and how they sign you into record deals and they kind of control your image. I was going to ask you about like how much of your soul do you give away versus maintaining artistic integrity? But now with social media, which it's fascinating seeing what you guys do.
Yeah.
Like, how important is that? Like, how powerful is social media in what you do?
Very. Well, I think I didn't give enough of my soul away. That's why it didn't really work for me, because I didn't really want to do what the label was asking me to do.
Which was?
They wanted me to turn full French. And I'm not French, so I don't write in French, so I would have to sing other people's songs. Yeah. So then I kind of pushed back, and I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I think you do have to sell your soul.
So are you more well known in France than you would be in the UK?
Oh yeah, 100%. So with TikTok as well, I think it's all in French. All my stuff, all my TikTok and my Instagram videos, they're all French. So I guess it would be more here. Yeah, that I'm well known. But I write in English, but I haven't really released any of my English songs yet. I haven't had the opportunity. But the power of social media today, record labels now will, even if you've got the best song in the world, best image in the world, they'll then look at your social media and go, right, build that a little bit by yourself, which no one knows how to do. It's complete luck. I had no idea. Mine was luck. We posted a video. It went really well, started to get the followers. Yeah. So I still have no idea how I have as many followers as I do.
But you've got a massive following, what is it, a couple of million or something like that?
On TikTok?
On everything, we've got.
And you're like,
I think I had a look. It's like 250,000 on Insta alone.
Yeah, we've got over 200 and something thousand and like 600,000 or 700,000 on TikTok or something like that. Yeah.
So do you have you're working on that all the time?
We don't. I wouldn't even call it work. Like
you kind of love it.
Yeah, we really enjoy it with Sophie. It kind of just.
It's the content.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We enjoy the content, and so lucky. Like, I've got friends with far funnier videos than that, much better content, and it just, I don't know.
It just doesn't.
Right time, right moment, right time, and it just goes bang, and then people go, "Oh, you're the guys." Like we're the funny.
So you're exactly
on TikTok now.
Yeah, you appear as exactly as you are in real life.
Yeah.
That's the thing too, right?
We try.
So you're authentic.
We try,
and you have to be.
But like some of my real artist friends, when we posted the first video, they were like, "Oh,
what are you doing?
I'd never do that. That's so embarrassing and stuff." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm just having fun with my wife. Like, I'm not embarrassed by it. It's just a bit of fun. Yes, it's not the best song.
That's probably the green monster as well.
Yeah, there is a stigma with it. Whether like, you're that social media guy now.
Yeah, but they would be the social media guy if they could be. Especially if you're monetizing it, right? So,
exactly. But that's what I said. I was like, guys, like, look, that's all my rent done in 3 videos
and just
per
by
month.
By having fun.
And I'm having a laugh. Yeah.
But it's a gamble too, though, right? Like once you put it out there, if you're willing to do that, it's out there. If you release something that's sort of unseemly or...
Yeah, but that's the thing.
The amount of shit I posted before something hit, though, hundreds of videos of stuff where it was just a bit of fun and nothing worked.
Yeah, but you're not embarrassed of it, right? You don't, and that's the thing. You don't put anything out that you're not proud of, right?
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
it's
so
all.
I think you can control it, right?
I think you have to take the piss out of yourself with that sort of stuff. I think people who take themselves too seriously, they're just going to have a problem with people. like I say, going back to the thing, I always say I don't care what people think. And I think in certain circumstances I don't. When it's that sort of thing, I'm like, think what you want.
Yeah,
I don't care.
exactly.
I'm doing my thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's more, I don't know.
It's more
on a personal level, I guess.
It's more the people that are close to you that,
I'm worried
which
about
is a
what
good
they
thing.
think.
Yeah, and that's fine, right? But
Yeah.
I think worrying about what every Tom, Dick, and Harry thinks is just absolutely no point.
Yeah, because there's always going to be people
And
hating
the
on
keyboard warriors and all that sort of stuff. And
I think I love the keyboard warriors. Like I read loads of the like on one of the videos we've got like 20,000 comments or something, and I spent so much time reading them, and 90% of them are great. And then there's the few where you're like, I can see that, I can see what you see, but
that's kind of good, right?
yeah.
Because you've got to take the good with the bad.
Absolutely.
And like if you can take the good with the bad, then I think you're in the right spot, right?
I mean, I've never replied to any of the bad ones, but you do read them, and you do some of them. You go, oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, words are very powerful, though, eh? Like you read it, and it hurts.
of course, yeah, things do. You have this facade, I guess, or I do anyway, where you're like, yeah, nothing, but you do read it, and you do go,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, that's a bit of a
What's
low
that
blow.
old saying? Sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. That's true, right? But
Yeah.
The
Physically,
Here's
it
another
won't
good
kill
one
you.
though. Water off a duck's back, because I read it and I'm like,
water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter,
do,
right?
I'm
It's
like,
just people's
God.
opinions.
You
right?
can do more.
You know, if you think that strongly,
And
about me,
they're
you said
watching
something
it.
that nasty.
As long as you're thinking about me in a good way or a bad
exactly.
way. Yeah.
Exactly. You'd rather them be thinking about you, talking about you, whether they hate you or they like you. They're watching you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what you want, especially for somebody in your field, I guess.
Yeah, and also to turn it around and react in a way that's not as equally nasty. You kind of like diffuse the situation. Sometimes they can be like, oh, maybe they're not such a bad.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple of times where people don't think you're going to reply, and I've replied like, oh, listen, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I hope whatever's going on in your life is fine, because they're usually having a really shit time.
Exactly.
So then the only way for them to turn it around is go, oh, you look shit, or whatever it is, and you just go, oh well, I'm sorry, and then they go, oh, I didn't think you were going to reply. So
You just kill them with kindness.
Sorry, buddy.
And self-deprecation, like I always think if the meanest funny thing someone can say to me or about me, I can say something meaner about myself.
Yeah.
And find it funny.
I'm my own worst enemy. 100%.
Like that's a cool place to get into.
Totally, 100%.
It's quite freeing.
Or if you can laugh at yourself,
Yeah.
And if you can laugh at yourself, nobody can hurt you, I reckon.
100%. But I've got a really bad I doubt myself quite a lot. Like when I'm walking around tables or something, even if I'm having a really good show and I see people having a little laugh, I automatically think
They're laughing at you.
I automatically think, oh fuck, they're 100%.
I would never clock that, because
I'm like,
to
they're taking
see
the
you in
piss out of
action
me.
is like, you got to
They're
see
not
it.
even thinking about me.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, fuck, I've done something. Or
Yeah.
they whatever it is.
But does that fuel you, or does it
It depends on the night.
chip away at you?
For me, it really depends on the night. If I'm having a good day and I'm like confident and whatever, I'm like, fuck it, it's fine. But if I'm having a bit of a downer, I'm like, and I kind of go in myself, and I have to have a sit down and go, stand up, chest out, go for it, come on.
Take a toilet break, look in the
fake
mirror,
it
splash some
beautifully.
water over yourself,
Exactly.
and get back out there, right?
Exactly. Get on with it. Stop being such a bitch.
It's the self-doubt, right?
Yeah. But it's myself. It's in my head.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, that's
I don't know if you guys suffer with that as well. But
I think
every
everybody lives
human-
in their head pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's what you do with it that
Yeah.
sets people aside, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, for you to have self-doubt, which surprises me because we know each other pretty well.
yeah.
That would really surprise me. So to take the...
I'm happy that you can't see it. That's a
No.
good thing. I had it.
But I'm sorry that you do and I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And we've broken a lot of stuff down over the time we've known each other. But, to take the career you've taken, which it would be littered with like obstacles and failures and setbacks.
Yeah.
And to have self-doubt, which I'm sure every artist must do, right? Like how do you, like we were talking in an episode we haven't released about picking unconventional paths and doing things, like I didn't want to go to uni, I didn't like uni, I didn't want to have a regular profession, so I just did my own thing, much to the chagrin of like my family. But I was like, I'm just going to fucking do it. And I didn't really have much self-doubt, but it was more like I was doing it to be contrarian, I guess.
Yeah.
But for you, like how do you find that like that pushed you to keep going, or did you have to really like fight it in order to, is the passion and love for what you do that important that you can overcome it?
I think now initially, yes, 100%. But now I think I've gone down a more business route, I guess you could say. So I can kind of justify it in my head. I'm like, no, I'm working very hard and I've actually got a path to follow. Because the artist thing, there's not really a do this and this will happen. There's not really a promotion thing where you can say, I'm going to get to this point if I do this. So you kind of no one knows
There's a lot of luck.
what's a hit.
It's right time, right place,
100%.
right?
No one knows what's going to work. Like same with the TikTok thing. No one knows if your video is going to get 1 million views or 1 view. You
But
have
also,
no idea.
like from what I'm understanding, is that clearly a lot of compromise too, right?
Yeah.
You know, in order to, I guess the dream was to be
The dream was to
the
be
standalone songwriter, or
Yeah, the dream was to be Ed Sheeran's competition.
yeah.
But I think that's everyone's
But you
dream.
still could be. And you still
yeah.
are. Well, you are his competition because he's a singer-songwriter and so are you.
Yeah, but I guess he's releasing stuff and he's the biggest in the world. So I guess you have to aim at that level. Otherwise, you'll never get there. But the dream's not dead. I still have loads of people going, well, where are the songs and stuff? We love the videos with Sophie, but I want a real song. I want to hear your stuff. And it really gets me down sometimes where I hear stuff on the radio and I'm like, oh, I've got songs that are
better,
just as good or better. Or you never, in my head they're better, obviously. But when I play them to people, and I know I'm sat there, but I've never had that's all right. Like, I've got some really good music, and I'd love eventually, whether it's me singing them or someone else singing them, I'd love the songs to be released. Yeah, and that would be my ultimate dream, I guess.
I think you're incredibly lucky because you've built a business that now you can not relax, but you're in a position
still in music.
You're not worried. You're in music, but you can do the thing that you love. And whether it comes now or it comes later, you just don't know, right? Yeah. And it's luck.
But I think that's the thing. It's like you say, I've built something, and it's everyone wants more, obviously. Yeah. But it's given me the little space to be able to.
You didn't have to go get a job as a waiter. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
But no. It's just I'm still in music. I'm still doing what I love.
Yeah.
But TJ's got. I don't know if you've listened to much of his music. You've got a great message in terms like your lyrics are soulful. It's not just catchy tunes, which there are some. Like your lyrics are beautiful. Like the song you referenced before that you wrote for Sophie,
Roses.
Like it's beautiful. And
thank you.
One of the things like you and I love is music.
Yeah.
Not always the same stuff, but the fact that it speaks to you, and it's like for me, and I don't know, I think for you too, and I'm sure for you, it's music through your life. There are certain songs or bands or groups or moments that you associate with, and they're like anchor points in your life. And as soon as you hear that again, it might be like 30 years later, it not only like reminds you of it, it takes you, you feel exactly the same. I feel like a 15-year-old. I feel the emotion, the joy, the tears, the pain.
Yeah. Music's powerful.
Yeah. So powerful.
Music's
like,
powerful.
when you're going through like tough times, I always find that I come across music and especially lyrics that I feel like they've been written for me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
That's the goal.
It's so...
That's the goal as a songwriter. You have to write something that's so true to yourself. Because I think we are all very similar.
It's true to the human condition, right? Like people respond to authenticity, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think we're all very similar. We all feel the same things at different times. So I think if you can write a song that really touches you, it will touch someone else, and it'll be important for someone at the right time. Yeah. Whether that's tomorrow or in 10 years' time. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Like the song I wrote for Sophie, Roses. When my dad died, I was like, fuck. That's a tough song. It's a tough song to listen to.
Yeah, it is.
Did you write that in French or in English?
English, yeah. English song, yeah. I'll play it to you after.
Yeah, cool.
And we can maybe insert a clip.
Yeah, I think we definitely should, because when you hear a song that's written and you know the backstory and you know that there's real pain and suffering has gone into it, even if it's not your suffering, you can you feel it, like you feel it come through with the vocals of the.
I find it hard to listen to now.
Yeah, I bet.
No, I've been through it. Yeah.
I always wanted to come back. Like if you come back in this world, like I believe in reincarnation. Yeah. And I'm probably going to have to come back because I've got a few things to learn. But I always wanted to come back. There were two things. If I could come back as a bald eagle, I'd come back as a bald eagle or a rock star.
A rock star.
Or like a musician, you know, just because like the power that you have and the ability to affect people, like just in your words and your singing and stuff. And plus, like being a sportsman, you go out and you play and there's 50% of the people that like you, and there's 50% of people that hate you. But when you're a musician, all the people that are there love you. So like
they're paying to see you as well.
Yeah, so the feeling and the just the energy must be incredible. Like I can only imagine. So
the few times I've done it as like the artist, and we went on tour a couple of years ago round France, and everyone was there to see us, and it was just the feeling was amazing on a different level. Yeah, to a proper like a full-on rock star.
Yeah, but it still is like even if you're singing to 200, 300, 400 people, like you're in a club, and they're all there to see you, right?
It's a great.
There's no one there bagging you. There's no one there yelling out like, your mother's a whore.
Yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Mate, like, hopefully the wind's
Well,
not
there
going to
are.
blow because you're going to float away, mate, you skinny prick. You know, like...
Was that you saying that?
No, not me.
You should hear some of the stuff people used to say to him.
Oh, mate, classic.
It's so bad. But
That fuels you as well, you know, but it must be really nice to
Yeah.
go to a gig and know that all those people there are there because they want to hear you sing.
I mean, you do, because we did. I always remember one, and it's coming back to the self-deprecating thing and like always doubting yourself. There was one. It was like 4,000 people, and there was one fucking guy at the front who you could just see was just like, you're an idiot, you're shit, and all I could focus on was him.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, he hates it. I want that guy to like it. That's my only
Isn't that
goal.
funny
Yeah.
how,
And
isn't that funny how you
There's
do that?
4,000 people that are loving it, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That guy.
But did you flip him? Did you turn him
I
around?
don't know. I don't think so. Probably not. But the whole
That's what
time
you
I was on
wanted to do,
stage.
though.
Yeah, the whole time I was on stage, I was like, fuck.
That's
So you
I want
said-
that guy to like it.
You said it before.
He was obviously there to see the other guys on the stage, not me. But I was like, fuck.
Yeah, but you said it before. Most people that are giving you shit, their lives are so average.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if somebody's like obviously like attacking you or giving you a hard time
Yeah.
or whatever, you've just got to think, man, you poor bastard.
Yeah.
What is your life like for you to
Like,
want to have a
what
crack?
level of happiness deficit are you
Yeah,
experiencing?
you know, like so.
Yeah.
If you think about it like that, then I think it's easier to float through.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't at that time. Now I do.
Yeah.
I try and put myself in their position. Like if I go to a show and I don't like someone, I'm not going to be like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I would always still be like, you know, I try and encourage the person, even if I wasn't
Yeah.
enjoying it. I would never want to make them feel
Kill them
like
with
they're
kindness.
shit. Exactly.
Kill them with kindness.
So I'm like, if they are doing that, it's probably because they feel shit or they're
Yeah.
going through something, or
Yeah, exactly.
maybe they just don't like the song. Or, you know, it's not.
Yeah,
People see being
It's
rude.
not a personal attack.
Yeah, yeah.
No, people see being rude as a way of like, I guess, exerting strength. I think,
Yeah.
which is a fallacy I found because younger me, which was an insecure person, as we often are when we're younger, lashing out and being rude and obnoxious. I thought that made me strong and you know, put up barriers. But for me, I know now that like to be kinder, it takes a lot
Yeah.
more strength. So I think when you see people acting like that, you're like, oh,
I think the more successful the person as well in life, I think I've never met someone who's like extremely wealthy and everything, who's just angry and upset all the time. I think they seem to be the calm.
or successful in whatever pursuit.
Or
they've
success,
taken.
in whatever it
Yeah.
is, but
Or-
successful people, like
but
accomplished people, I should say. That's
Yeah,
probably
I
the
think
word.
there's a caveat there, though. I think you have to earn it yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, there's lots of people here in this part of the world that come from wealthy parents and that sort of stuff, and you can see that they're not happy.
Yeah.
You know, like they've got everything, they've got the boats, they've got all the stuff,
100%.
but you can feel it. You know,
Yeah.
because they haven't achieved themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Well, adversity, as we were discussing before, is a huge character builder.
Yeah.
You know?
I think you're right, 100%. If you've earned it yourself, though, that's like fulfilled, I guess. A fulfilled person. I've never seen someone just like angry all the time, whatever. If you've done it yourself,
Yeah, totally.
I think it's cool.
Going
That's what I
back
wanna
to
be.
going back to your reincarnation,
Yeah.
what would be your genre?
I'd like to think I could rap, but
I was gonna say rap.
like because I
How are your pipes?
what?
How are your pipes?
The French version of that.
Pretty good.
These ones.
I've got
your pipe,
five
mate?
children, mate.
How's
I
your
think
pipe,
they
mate?
go all right. Well, thanks for asking. No, I'm not, like,
That's going to be a clip.
I'm not a singer.
You're not.
No, not a singer. Well,
Should we put that to the test?
no, definitely not. Definitely not while we're sitting next to this lad.
Maybe we should hear something from TJ because I feel like we can see a clip
Yeah.
and we heard a little taste of your voice
It's
before.
so early. It's lunchtime.
Is it? What is it on?
I don't sing before.
12 o'clock.
But I do have a surprise for you guys.
Oh.
Yeah?
Yeah. Last night, I wrote a jingle.
A jingle.
A jingle for the Brink.
Excellent.
I wrote a jingle for you guys. And
Shall I grab the guitar?
You can be honest and say it's shit. You know, you don't have to.
we will if it is shit.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Raw honesty is kind of our
Oh, God.
our calling card.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Ready?
Yeah.
You can be honest. Might have a different opinion. Don't be afraid to say it. Might be the one with the problem. It's fine, just don't overthink it. Don't tell me that you're offended. It's not my fault you can't take it. You know I'm starting to think that I am on the brink.
Good. That's our new jingle.
Do you like it?
That's our new jingle. I love that.
You like it?
I love that.
I love it.
Who does that?
I love it. Well, that's yours. That's my gift.
That's an honour.
Thank you, man.
Beautiful.
So much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I
love it.
I think that's a great way to wrap up.
Yeah,
I'll get it recorded properly for you guys, so I'll do a little clip.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you guys.
That's an honour. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, buddy. I'm glad you like it.
Love it.
Well, I'm sure everyone enjoyed meeting you, getting a taste of what you're doing. And,
Are we done? I was having so much fun.
How long have we been going for?
I don't know, mate.
No.
50 minutes.
Done.
Done?
Yeah.
And there's nothing to cut either.
We got to do it again in the future. Then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Would love it. We appreciate your support.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me. Really, really appreciate it. It was amazing meeting you
You too.
officially.
You too.
And always good to meet you.